Hey there, and welcome to Cross of the Dutchman. This is a action adventure game just released on Steam a couple days ago, I think on the 10th. It's developed and published by Triangle Studios, going for $10 Canadian, but it's got an opening week sale for 15% off, which puts it at $8.50 Canadian. I'm not sure what it's at US because I know the Canadian dollar is crap right now. Before I get into it here, I'm going to go through my regular full disclosure spiel while I show off the options. So I'm taking a look at this with a review code I received from a third-party PR firm. I don't know anybody at Triangle Studios, so I don't really have any sort of bias here. Just look at all the languages we have as options. So yeah, that's where my biases lie, is I didn't pay for the game. I can say whatever I want about it. So, what is Cross the Dungeon? Cross of the Dutchman, sorry. Steam description says it's based on a true story. You know what, here, let's, I'm gonna overwrite my old save and start the opening cutscene. There's no audio, so I'm gonna talk through it while the cutscene, the subtitles are there on screen. So, according to the Steam description, it's based on a true story, the story of, and I'm probably gonna destroy this name, but Pier Gerlofs Donia, a farmer who becomes the commander of the Frisian army. And throughout the game you're supposed to meet historical characters, and they help you fight the Saxons and earn freedom. Now, it claims that it has unique and historically accurate environments. I personally can't attest to that. I don't know the environments that its claims are it's basing the game environments off of, so I don't know how historically accurate they are. It also says it has a rich and compelling storyline. I'm not so sure about that. Maybe if the history it's based on is personal to you, then it comes off as rich and compelling, but as somebody who knows nothing about it, it doesn't really. And we need to go here. And there, okay. It also claims it has a aesthetically unique art style, and I mean it definitely does. It's similar to some other art styles. There's comparisons you can make. So I wouldn't necessarily say unique, but it's definitely interesting. It's really nice. It comes off as a little amateurish, but at the same time it comes off as like really. I don't want to use the word unique because there are things similar to it, but it comes off as, say, indie definitely is a term you could use to describe it. I think I would prefer to go with, like, maybe cute. Oh, I'm having some recording problems here. 1 second. Those will go away on their own. There we go. Okay. Small encoding problems. They'll disappear. It's probably this kid running around. We do need to get vegetables. The other thing is, it says it's action, adventure, and strategy. I think I've seen where we're getting the strategy from, but I don't think I would agree that it is necessarily strategic. As somebody who spends a lot of time playing strategy RPGs, grand strategy games, it's not something I would consider strategy. I'd almost say like, I mean, it has some RPG elements, but What a Days doesn't now. You'll see here, if you look at the bottom of the screen, it says press Y to continue. That's like my first gripe with the game, is instinctively I want to push A to continue. And it wants me to push Y, and that just feels really weird. And I put about 45 minutes into the game before starting the recording here, and it's still so weird to push Y to progress things. For some reason it's not that weird to push Y to interact and pick up objects, but to progress through dialogues there's something in my brain that says I'm not allowed to use Y. So here's our first combat here, and you're going to get to see kind of how fighting in this game works. Basically you just mash the A button into people, and you just kind of got to push the stick in their rough general direction while you mash A. There's some more stuff you'll get later, and we'll get there maybe. But right now, I'll say that honestly, about an hour into the game, I think the combat feels pretty clunky. It doesn't feel that great. I'm walking into a fence. I think there's a bridge here. Yeah, there's a bridge here. There are, and I don't have them right now, but I should get some soon. There are different combat styles that change your other attack that we have not unlocked yet, which is probably why we don't have the styles. It's been ambushed by crooks. I'm going through the story a little fast, just because there's a lot of it to cover. I'm not sure how long the game is supposed to take, but I put an hour into it, and I felt like it was just starting for the first time. I've missed where I needed to turn here. So what do you mostly do in Cross of the Dutchman? For some reason I can't say the title well. Well, you mostly just punch Saxons in the face, which I'm sure there's all sorts of people that think that's the greatest thing ever. I could care less who I'm punching in the face, as long as I'm punching somebody. But a lot of it is, like, definitely for the first half hour or so, it's very... There's a lot of chaff and a lot of filler. It's like, you've just seen you run from here to here to here to here to here, run here, 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 run back here, run over here, run back here. And you'll see the, like, mini-map up there in the corner that I've been half-heartedly following. There's a little reticle up there to tell you where to go, and you basically just follow that for the first half hour of the game. You just run back and forth across these maps. There's this map here, there's another map up here, there's another map down here, I think there's another one down here, and you'll just be running back and forth between 2-3 maps for the first, about first half hour of the game. Alright, so now we're at the crossroads. We have to trade our vegetables in the market, like every good hero does to start their journey. They go see the merchant. So here's a fishmonger. You can talk to him and he says, yeah, I can trade you fish, but only for cash, because I gotta pay taxes. And he says, well, fuck taxes, I'll just go beat up the people collecting them. Can I talk to you yet? No, I think I have to finish this chapter first. Alright, so we come over here. Here are the soldiers. We start a fight with them. And we just fight. It's 1 down. 2 down. 3 down. Come over here. Get these barrels and get some more cash. And here's the fish. So we go to collect it, and more soldiers come in. Now there's 5 of them, and now we're overpowered, I guess. Let's get up, and now they've erected a barricade. We can't get at them. They just tell us to get lost. So we need some way to beat them. So we return to the fishmonger and say, okay, we almost got your fish, but there's too many guys. What do we do? And he says, well, you could get a weapon. There's a blacksmith that went over to the east toward Kimsword, and now we get to go to a new map to go look for a new waypoint. I guess, like, I can understand, I mean, the initial counter-argument to my gripe about having to run back and forth across maps would be, well, what, you want the entire game to be, like, just turning from NPC to NPC? And no. But a lot of these maps have, like, and I don't know, maybe this is part of the realistic map, but it feels very gamey, so I want to say it isn't. But a lot of the maps are just nonsensical twists and turns. The minimap is a little unclear. It uses shades of gray to denote different heights and things, and it makes it a little difficult to tell where you can go and can't go just looking on the minimap. So you mostly just follow the road, and the roads wind around, and I missed my turn. Wind around, and like here are the bridge. Doesn't look like you can cross the bridge unless you notice that, hey, there's a little bit of gray popping out. So we come over here and we talk to the blacksmith, and instead of giving us a weapon like you would think, he just gives us the ability to, and he charges 100 gold for it. He gives us the ability to use a new move, which I think we can use on these barrels here. Boom. And so we push B instead of Y, and instead of A, sorry, and we hit the, we use a bit of our stamina bar to do a huge explosive punch. Oh, shoot, I was supposed to go back and talk to him after breaking the barrels, wasn't I? My mistake. Run back real quick, talk to him. You can walk into fires, which seems a little weird. I always unconsciously was avoiding them because I think you would take damage stepping in fire, but you don't. Graphically, it looks very similar to... it kind of looks like Magicka. It kind of looks like Necro, if anybody's ever played Necro. There's a lot of parallels you can make in the aesthetics of the game. And, I mean, the art style, it has... It kind of looks like Darkest Dungeon, and there's something else I can think of, but I can't, like, put a name to it, but I feel like I've seen a similar aesthetic art style in other games. But yeah, I mean, I think this is probably my biggest gripe, is, like, I played it for an hour, and it felt like... okay, I played it for 45 minutes, and it felt like I probably spent 20 of those minutes just running back and forth and not doing anything. And then maybe 10 minutes of them reading dialogues, watching the cutscenes, and then the rest of the time was spent just mashing the A button into people's faces and once in a while pushing the B button. So I don't know why we talk to the fishmonger here. He just says, oh hey, you got your special move. I think if we talk to him now... No, we have to beat the soldier still. That guy is important, and I will bring it up when we can actually talk to him. Soldiers are here, and we get them all in front of us, and then boom, one hit them with our stamina bar. They go down, and then we just boom, one hit those guys with the stamina bar. And now we can pick up the fish. We get the fish, and then we go back to the fishmonger. Frame rate is like really bad on the recording, and I'm not sure why that is. Because the frame rate looks solid in-game, so don't worry about that. That's my fault. Something wrong with my encoding settings. Messing with the frame rate. But the frame rate's solid in-game. That's not an issue. I don't know if it's 30 or 60. I don't really care. It looks fine. It doesn't look as choppy as it does in the video here. But we've got fish. He said, you know what, you earned the fish yourself. You can just keep it, basically. You get to keep the fish. You get to go home to our wife. And this is where I expected to return home and find his entire family slaughtered by soldiers. But no, they're fine. And I think once we stop at home, we can talk to that NPC and I can show off the rest of the combat here. There should be a small bridge I can take here. I think this path's a little faster. I'm going to break those, get some money, because we're going to need some. And that's the kid, and there's the wife. Where is she? Oh, she's up there. Boom. Got fish. He just gave you for free. Are they sure they're good? Yeah, they're good. I protected them from soldiers. And we're going to get a little cutscene here. So, I want to talk about my last thing I wanted to address in the game, and that's the actual combat of the game. But, I can't do that till we start this chapter, so we're going to have to watch this cutscene where everybody's super happy. And then somebody knocks on the door and he goes outside, and I'm just going to spoil the next 5 seconds of this cutscene for you. One of his neighbors is there and says that the soldiers are destroying his farm and he needs his help. So Pier... I'm not sure if it's Pierre or Pier. Like a dock, or like the French name Pierre. I think it's Pier. Like the dock. So we go with him. He will follow us, which I guess is what they were getting at in the descriptions for the game on you can see on the Steam store that say you can meet historical characters and let them join your cause for freedom. I don't know anything about the story of Pier Gerlofs Donia, was it? Donia. And whether or not these characters are actually historical characters. I don't know if Tom the farmer is somebody important to Frisian history. But he's definitely somebody you can recruit, and he will follow you around. So he follows you around for the first chapter, and there is... I don't know how much more of the game I'm going to show off after I can show off the little differences in combat here, but we're going to fight all 5 of these guys. And now the game starts throwing a bunch more guys at us because, hey, we can kill them all in one hit, and we've got this guy to help us out. We've got 100 coins. Let's smash these and get some more. I'd like 150, I think. But I'm gonna head up here to the combat shop that I've been trying to talk to for a while now. And he is still here, so he should be open now. And yes, we can buy new moves from here. So I'm gonna buy the door kick, the blue one, and you'll see that now I can hit up on the D-pad to change between styles. The blue one is our door kick, and if I push B, we do a sweet door kick. I think one of my other gripes is there was kind of no tutorialization for that at all. Like, I talked to the guy, he gives me the new move, and I think they do tutorialize you getting new moves later. Like, I've done it early here, but they don't tell you about changing styles with the up button. So I bought like 2 moves from him, and then sat there trying to use them by hitting other buttons, but nothing else was happening. And then eventually I hit the arrow keys and I realized, oh, I can change my style up there. That's kind of cool. I do like that the door kick is actually genuinely like different from the uppercut. The uppercut is a huge radial blast, whereas the door kick is a pretty straight line. So I often find myself missing when I'm trying to hit, like I only hit like maybe one guy, if any, with the door kick, which is kind of interesting. I'm glad they're actually like different moves. They're not just different animations for what mechanically is the same thing, a giant burst of damage. I know you can get multiple guys with the kick here too. There we go. You can get them, they just have to be more in a line than in kind of an area of effect. Now we have to fend off backup soldiers, which should come in over here. There we go. A couple of them. I find a lot of the times that the basic move is better though. I'm not sure what the move actually is called. It's an uppercut, it looks like. Taking his wife, so now we gotta go sneak into the camp and get her back. And honestly, I don't think I really have much more to show off. I'll go do the sneak mission for the wife, and then there's one other thing I won't have time to show off, I think. Just because it's gonna take too long to get there and show it off. But if you come over here, some more guys. Get them burst up. Beat them up. Boom, and then this last guy will just help him kill. I don't really have much else to say. I mean, it's alright, it's interesting. I definitely am... Oh, jeez. That's actually getting choppy. I think it did this last time I played too. Something about this one scene gets really choppy for some reason. And then it fixes itself. I don't know, that might be my own like hardware issue, but come down here. There is this sneak mission. I don't know if there are more sneak missions, but yes, you have to sneak. And I'm not sure where their like line of sights really are. There's no like Metal Gear Solid vision cones to use. You come around here and then get this chest, because why not? Free money. And then we talk to his wife here. We save her, but she just starts screaming, and all the enemies hide or come at us. So I'm gonna go back to the kick, and oh, now we're getting our butt kicked here. I might die here. Yeah, I died there. That's okay. I was about done anyway. So yeah, there's a sneak mission. The other thing, and I think this is maybe where the description of strategy is coming from, and I'm going to quit to the main menu while I finish up my review here, is there's a mission, I think it's like the next thing you do, is you have to go to a mill, find the miller. He says, oh, you can't get through that barricade, go through this one, so you have to go the long way around through a less defended barricade. You get to the mill, and you have to sit there and defend the mill from enemy attackers. And so the enemies just keep coming in and in and in and in and in, and you just beat them until you've killed the appropriate number of enemies that are flowing towards you. It's alright. I wouldn't call it a strategy fight. I would call it like a survival fight, and even then it's not really that, because they only come at like 2 or 3 at a time, and you have the buddy to watch the other side with you. So it's pretty easy to handle them. The next chapter has you go and actually recruit a bunch of people start Pier's little army, and I got as far as a fight where there was a 3-minute timer, I think it might have been 2 minutes, and it was just run around the map and kill all the enemies, and they were all marked on the map as little crosshairs, and I just had to go and run over and beat them all up. It's okay, but it looks like the game is really just run from here, run from where you are to where the marker says to go, beat up guys along the way, beat up a bunch of guys at the marker, get a quest, go to the next marker, and that just goes on and on and on and on like that. Which, it's not really my kind of game. If it had something interesting going on, like, I know Victor Verne had that jump mechanic where you could move around the map in interesting ways and find secrets and things. They've got chests and stuff that you can find in Across the Dutchman here that are kind of interesting little secrets, but not that interesting. You can usually find them all pretty easily just by doing like an exterior collisions and looking all over the map. And because it's all one plane, it's not hard to find. The map has a lot of, I feel, needless squiggling, I guess you'd call it, where you are running around in like a strange weave, and it feels like it's just there to fill out the game and pad out a length of time for the player to feel like they got their money's worth, which I don't think is the way games should be designed. If the combat style's a little clunky, I mean, I'm not expecting like AAA Batman knockoff combat. And it works, it's basically just mash the A until your stamina bar is full again, hit your B button, maybe position yourself for your B button depending on the style you've chosen to go with. I do like that the styles are actually different moves. I said that, I'll reiterate that, I do like that they are actually different moves and not just different animations for the same function. That's something. I have nothing against the story, I just personally am not interested in it. So, I mean, take that as you will. Like, I don't see anything wrong with the story. From what it sounds like and what I saw on Wikipedia in a brief look, it sounds like an interesting story, just not interesting enough that I feel like I'm going to really continue looking into it. I'm not Frisian, I don't have any sort of historical attachment to that story. So that's that really. That's Across the Dutchman. It's not a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. It's a fine game. It's not a great game. It has problems. Every game has problems. They're not bad enough that I don't enjoy it. I just don't. It's not like they're hampering my enjoyment of the game. It's just that there isn't enough there to really pull me in, I think, is the problem. If you disagree, feel free. In that case, I urge you to buy the game because it's a fine game. I'll have a link in the scene description below where if you want to go and purchase it, feel free to. I encourage you to. But that's my take on it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now, guys.